引き続き司会、私、天ゆきでお送りいたします。続いての作品は、スカイラープラックス、アドベンチャー・オン・クローバーアイランドっていいのかな読み方。カテゴリーは 100% になっております。こちら解説の方、いらっしゃいませ。もし有識者、これやったことあるよって方、ちょっとわかるよって方、よかったら、チャットもしくは解説の方応募いただけると嬉しいです。ちらーっと調べて、ちょっと調べたんですけど、3D プラットフォームの作品で、ジャック&ダックスターやラッチェット&クランクなどのゲームから着想を得てる作品だそうです。楽しみです。どんな感じなんだろう。
Alright, hello, welcome back to ESA Summer 22. This event we're raising money for Save the Children. Links to donate can be found below the stream. But also this event, we would also like to thank ViewSonic Gaming for their wonderful monitors that we're using. And of course, Twitch. But now, it's time for Skylar and Plux, Adventure on Clover Island 100% by Matsi007. Take it away.
画面来ましたね。
Everybody, my name is Matsi007. I'm gonna show you Skylar and Plux Adventure on Clover Island 100%. It's a very interesting and very complex and entertaining speedrun. So I hope you enjoy it. I am today joined by my fellow co-commentator and runner of this game, Clover. He's gonna introduce himself.
Yeah, hello, I'm Clover. I also have run this game, and I'm currently barely conscious. Let's go.
Yeah, good morning. Just gonna go and explain real quick.
何サムス
load in the level already in bounds.
あれ、私画像調べたときなんか青いなんかこう猫科の動物の人がいたんですけどなんで？え？どういうことなんでしょうか？
3, 2, 1, go.
始まりました。グッドラックです。
Alright. Yeah, so this is Skylar and Plux. It's a 3D platformer, and as you can see,
あれ、私見てる作品間違えてる？
we are currently jumping constantly, and that's because this game, if you play it on PC with
これがメトロイドちゃんですか？
much like, you know, your classic FPS game.
ジャンプしてるのはこれが速いからなんでしょうか？
Except, of course, it is.
スマブラ掴むやつも出てきたから、あれ？マジスサムスじゃないですか？あれ？
We have the scroll wheel or stuff like that. Instead, you get to use double jumps and stuff, which means you do need to manually time your bunny hopping. Yeah, the category being played here is, of course, 100%, which is why Mats is jumping under and grabbing all those boxes to get these shards. Which gives you HP if you're damaged.
これ集め、なんか
What you're going to use to
オレンジのダイヤみたいなの集めたらなんだろ
of
う？
poor
どうなるんだろ
trapped little marshmallow creatures. Though interestingly, the first cage you come across in this game, we are not going to be opening.
う？おっと、ここでタイトル回収の舞台が来ましたね。
That we have discovered ways to not have to collect.
Yeah, it's very expensive normally. You're supposed to pay 300 shards, and I have barely collected above 300 shards. To explain a little bit about collecting money in this run, every box has 4 shards, so we need to destroy
私、メトロイドシリーズ
because
触れたことないんで、ちょっとピンとこないんですけど、サムスはスマブラで知ってる程度なんで。
I never calculated it properly. And yeah, here I'm gonna do a quick reload to respawn those boxes, and as Klagan already mentioned beforehand, there's normally the big cage where we unlock the big marshmallow, but we can just skip that.
さっきクローバーアイランドってやったんでタイトル回収かなと思ったんですけど、サムスなのがちょっと気になる。
Adjusting the camera, jumping around that flame. There's an invisible wall on the left side, on the right side there isn't, so we can just jump straight into World 1.
And it took a very long time to discover that. Someone just came in to the Discord server, showed us this, and we were like, oh, damn. Yeah, and the funny part is that village elder that you would have to save with those 300 shards. The game doesn't sort of track it for completion.
PC 版でプレイされてるとのことですね。
So there will be
これちょっと調べたか、先ほどちょっと調べたんですけど、PS4 版、Xbox 版もあるそうですね。
like there's like a copy of it, right?
Yeah, essentially what happens is once you free the lower, the cage despawns. And it's an entirely new NPC in a way that spawns, and because we gonna skip
全部販売終了。嘘でしょ？
think like, wait a second, this lower is supposed to be freed, so they're gonna spawn the copy, the second one, fell down. That's fine.
あ、落ちちゃった。
Maybe of that lower instead of the first one, but the first one is still gonna hang around because we never freed him. So that's kind of funny. You can
サ
still
ムス、もっとね、なるほど、なるほど。
because,
なんか好きにいじれるみたい
small
な。
mobs that you need to kill, and they can actually just try to destroy themselves. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
大丈夫かなあれ
Definitely kill those potentially.
Yeah.
And as you can see here, maybe that these cages make us have to see quite a lot more of the game than we otherwise would
Yeah.
when we play this game in 90%.
Because normally what we can do here is doing a lot of skips. We can use the geometry in this world very easily to our advantage.
なのかな
Now here,
おっと、これ何やってるためジャンプかなうん。
way around, but we can just use a jetpack boost. We just got a jetpack, by the way.
Yeah.
And
Very, very useful.
it's extremely useful.
Yeah. So in this level is all about getting up a big mountain, so it's very vertical, and the jetpack has the ability to do sort of a extra extended high jump. But also, as you can see here, it allows you to glide through the air, which combined with bunny hopping.
あ、なるほど。ホバーでちょっと対空稼いでるみたいな感じかな。
Use that momentum and just glide across very vast distances, which will become even more obvious in
Nan-
some later levels.
It's really, really strong and useful. And in the any percent run, essentially, we wouldn't be going the route we are going right now. We could just skip huge parts of World 1 because we can just hover out of bounds with bunny hopping and the jetpack glide, and it's really strong.
And not to mention, of course, now that we can skip the village elder, we don't need
あ
to
ー、な
except if you take some
悲
unnecessary
しい。
somewhere, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right about there. So right now we're gonna like skip a puzzle about hitting 3 buttons and just keep going through the level. But we also passed the first teleporter in the game. And when you get to the second one, you actually are able to use them for a very interesting purpose.
ダイヤ集めていくっていう感じなのはわかるんですが。
But at the same time, it's still very much enjoyable to speedrun because of the bunny hopping. And as I already mentioned earlier, there's a lot of things to like about this run. And one
檻
of it is that it has
カゴ開けていく感じなのかなこれ。
fun movement, at least in my opinion. But it has also some good glitches, a few skips, and it's just very fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I think it's a very cool mix of sort of like you are doing actual platforming, or how to put it.
サムスのスマブラのつかみあれなんて言うんだっけ名前忘れた。
As we discovered, the bunny hopping was actually sort of intentionally kept in and made better by the developer, who was using it as sort of a
これは何してんのかな移動
So what is just going on? Do you want to explain what just happened?
Oh yeah, so right there, the teleporter. If you go to teleporter, you tab out. And
ああ、なるほど。
the thing we have discovered is
檻開けるために
cutscene, or when you're
稼いでるってことですか
locked
あ、本当だ。開いた開いた。
if you tab back in, you are able to move. So you move away from the teleporter. If you move far enough away that you're sort of out of its zone of activation, you
ああ、グラップリングビーム。ありがとうございます。
their prompt, as you can see there, the F to interact.
助かります。
Which means now if you press it, you'll get instantly.
すごいチャット欄、メトロイド
teleporter.
有識者いて助かります。
This will be used in this level to keep going around, because this is the most dense place of boxes in the entire game, where you can collect all of these extra shards that you would not otherwise get, even if you collected every shard along the way.
で、また開けた。
Because you need 100, of course, for each cage.
Yeah, this is why I'm right now collecting some cages. But the real farming
全部の檻開けていく感じなんでしょうかね。
farming run essentially, or like this playthrough, not really playthrough, run through, because I'm collecting those cages and afterwards I don't have to collect them anymore. So now you're supposed here to build up
また開けました
by
ね。
using your jetpack jump to get over, but I can just do this instead. So now I'm going back, waiting a bit to save.
これはワープしてる感じですね、マップで。
Instantly reload your save, it doesn't save. And that's a good way to
どうなんだろう、ちょっと中身見えなかったんですけど、檻の中。
Because that happened to me once when I was on world record pace, and I thought I had a world record, but then I just figured out I didn't collect all cages. So I reloaded too quickly. And now we're essentially starting the farm. So we take essentially the same route.
収集要素。だと思うんですけど。
Going much, well, it's a little bit different. We're gonna end it pretty much.
ロアあん中に入ってんですかね。
Up and collecting the last box stack down here, and we just repeat this over and over.
One thing I should mention is that another reason it's so nice to go back to the teleporter every time is the teleporter is a checkpoint,
誰
which is why it saves when you get to it every time, which means you can reload without danger, as long as you wait for it to save, of course.
Yeah, and we have to do this now until we reach 1700 shards. So if the nation reader has anything to share,
稼いで檻を開けて。
Okay, yes, I have plenty to say, don't worry.
ここさっきも見たってことは、
Since it's
集荷して稼いでる感じですかね。
new incentives have just been opened. But the biggest lot we have is for the Final Fantasy VIII run coming up on Stream 2 in a few days. We have a bunch of naming incentives and a bunch of
ここで一気に稼いでいく感じなんでしょうか。
blindfolded tricks that we can show off. So we can name
なる
Angela,
ほど。
Reaver, Riona, and Squall. I'm not going to pretend
ワー
to know
プ
who
し
these
て。
people are. But we have a defeat a mega weapon incentive for 1.25
向きを変えて、また稼ぐ。
will face and hopefully defeat the additional super boss a mega weapon. And then yes, we also have a really cool trick, a blindfolded a star menu. It'll be a few minutes of insane blindfolded menuing. I know menuing doesn't sound that interesting, but even
1000個超えましたね。
looking at it, it's a few minutes long. It actually seems pretty impressive. That is also $1.25,000. So start getting your donations in for that, and yeah,
緑はトランポリン。
characters that will be used in the run as well. But that's over on Stream 2 in a few days. We also have a couple Stream 1 incentives.
どこまで稼ぐんだろう。
We've got Alien Isolation. We'll do
あ、また戻った、
blindfolded. That is coming up tomorrow morning or maybe the next morning. Not quite sure. I don't remember when. Look at the schedule. But that's $1,500. So yeah, please get your donations in for that.
今1270?
yeah,
あ、300超えた。
do one or two runs.
Okay.
どこまで稼ぐんだろ
In that case, I will say we have a $10 donation from Anonymous who says, "Good morning, ESA. Another day, another set of awesome runs. Best of luck and keep up the great work." Thank you very much. And they put their donation towards the bonus category for the Super Mario Land 2 run to do an extra any percent run after the main 6 golden coins
う。
glitch.
いや、何があったんでしょうかね。販売停止。
Awesome. Well, yeah, maybe we should like acknowledge the fact that this is currently playing just with a character model mod that make you look like Samus.
Yeah.
If anyone's wondering in chat right now.
そうなんだ。ここ来るまでに稼いで開けてたのは見たんですけど、何個か数えてないや。
It doesn't do anything, and it's also accepted by the community. And some just have personal character preferences. And after running now in some events, and every time I put up an
しばらく作業の時間かな
I just wanted to run at least once with
無調していく
which
と。
is my favorite one.
And I mean, also a speedrun classic. I
Right.
have to say.
So now we have enough shards.
あ、別の場所行きましたね。
Continue playing. I collected a little bit more, but it's fine because we need to go back to this point.
2000あたりで止めてんでしょうかね。
Not very interesting if I do it for like 10 minutes straight.
いかにも冬って感じのステージが来ました。
Now I'm gonna go and finish up World 1.
And this entire area is
あ、いた1個開けて。
playing any percent because you would have gone straight up the mountain, and instead you have to go sort of in through the cave in the mountain and get her up. Is it just that one cage, or when's the next one coming up here? Oh yeah, right there here.
で、また開ける。
Sort of right? The bounce from the cage pops open, you get a little boost if you stand right next to it, right?
Yeah, if you run into a cage while it opens up, you get a lot of momentum.
次は
And you can use that
雪を
to
登って
bunny hop.
感じかな
Very, very neat. Because it's a very little bit of airtime, and depending on like on
とりあえず目標稼いだ感じですね。
perfect spacing for bunny hop. And yeah,
Right. Yeah, very cool. Just gonna say that right there, if you fall
で、
down,
またか、
it doesn't look like it,
箱
but
開
that
け
is the
る。
first place. If you are too far down near that rib cage there, you trigger a cutscene, and it's very
こ
annoying.
れは今の何ですかね
Right. That was the first fuse, as they're called, of 3. You get one in each of these worlds, and that's sort of the MacGuffin.
開けたこれは
where you will be
助ける
fight the boss.
先ほど誰かがおっしゃってたロアっていうやつでしょ
Going
う
into
か
the desert. Also, as you can see, there are these cages along in the sort of main hub world, and they will be collected sort of as they're convenient along the way. But most of them at the very, very end.
あまた場所が変わってこれは何
interesting and fast-paced. I'm trying to. Oh, perfect.
これは
So
あ
up here
ah,
is one cage.
ah,
You're not
登って
supposed to have a certain upgrade in the game to access it, but we can just use bunny hopping to get all the way over there.
砂漠ですね
Yeah, you're exactly, and you're meant to go outside and all the way around, instead of just jumping on every convenient bit of geometry.
Yeah. And
ここ
here
も
we
開
are
ける
again, collecting a cage that you're supposed to access a little bit differently, but geometry is our best friend in this game. That and bunny hopping.
And as you can see here, bunny hopping in this level, if the other one was
緑のとこはまだ行けないとこなのかな壁張ってて
light speed, so fast that enemies
いやそうでもない
right there didn't even spawn when we passed that place the first time.
So now I'm
Right there.
緑の踏んだらどうなるんだろうこれ
at the edge here, because the game here gives us a checkpoint right after it essentially transforms.
なんかビームが出てきそうな感じの色になっちゃってる
Convenient for us, and now I'm stuck in this tree. See, so I'm just gonna destroy these enemies because they're very annoying. Ooh.
今灰色になったのは時間停止っぽいですね
We're gonna talk about the time yet, or shall I?
I want
す
to
ごい
talk
こんな
about
機能あるんだ
potentially. It can happen. So sometimes you just dupe cages. It's not intended. We don't know how it happens and why it happens.
時間停止便利ですね
If this ever happens, we still need to collect all cages. So then we end up with, for example, 11 out of 10 cages.
ああなるほど
10 out of 10 cages.
Yeah, possibly something.
9割ですもの
I don't know. Is it pressing the input very fast twice, or is it just?
It's using the time stop.
ああ加速して止まってるように見えるみたいな
Ah,
なんかどっかのドラマで見たな
thing. We have collected a gadget. Another one.
なんかそんなの使ってる人いたな
Time stop orb. And it lets us, slow down time, which is very cool. And actually is coded in such a way that it kind of slows down literally everything in the game, including like cutscenes and everything. It also lets us interact with those time pillars, which sort of projects back in time. Kind of like it was. Did you say?
ん
Zelda
と
Skyward
これは
Yes.
なんかパズルみたいなことやってますね
And it's very
like
で
interesting.
書いた
Yeah, clears the rubble, and it has a lot of interesting puzzles, of which we can skip many of them.
And
A little
here,
bit of cutscene movement there by tabbing out.
yeah, just a little bit of
あれ
optimization.
あさっきの
Um,
黒い丸のとこに
these
点灯させて
So
直してる感じかなどうなんだろ
no dupes. I didn't forget
う
any.
ここも開けた
Which is perfect. And now we are pretty much just at the final stretch of World 2.
Very nice example of bunny hopping there, because that is a kind of cool puzzle about these pillars that have fallen down, and you sort of aim them differently and have them fall
あ
down
ったあっ
again.
た。あれ
Or you can just bunny hop across that
で、こ
entire
こもつけたあ、
And
ま
this
だかな
is, well, this
特
puzzle
定の場所に行かないと光らないっぽい。
reason why we found out that you can actually move in cutscenes, because usually those are unskippable, take some time, and you can do nothing in them. But at one point, because I was bored, I tapped out and looked at Discord, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff, and I figured out, wait a second, when I tapped back in, I was able to move. I didn't connect the dots initially, but once I did, yeah, it became very interesting. And
It's a very
うんう
now
ん。
we can move in cutscenes.
少しだったら光ってる。うんう
And
ん。
this is actually interestingly more difficult the later the puzzle stage is. So the first puzzle, moving in that cutscene, is very easy, but everything afterwards is a nightmare.
あそこの透明のとこに乗っけて。うんうん。
you fall down further, so it's more punishing.
But they're luckily mostly backups, unless you fall right above the water.
で、なんか、モアイみたいなやつが、
Point set right above the water level, because then the
この
game will
おえみたいな感じで
above the water and you just die
出させ
over and over, and there's
て、スイッチオンさ
no
せ
way
て。
to recover from it.
なんで木が伸びるんです
But
And
luckily I
here,
didn't.
at least, yeah. And the cool part is, you didn't even need it there because you were so fast, but you can activate the time thing, and it actually just makes the cutscene go slower. If you need to like keep the camera where it is.
叩いた方向に動いて止めるみたいな。
Yeah, it's very convenient actually, because
いや、スピーディーですね。すごい
I
すごい。
will try actually to go for it. And
あ、
see
なるほど。水位上げてんですね、あれ。あの緑の踏んで
super
解放させて。
more than that. And yeah,
また伸びまし
the
た。
most difficult one to move in, but hopefully I'll get at least a little bit done. And I can show here the time stop orb, how it's done. It's a little bit difficult to perform.
これで全部開けたのかなうわ、天井突き破りましたね。
Oh, the depth perception with this far away camera is not the easiest thing.
Yeah, I'll just not do it.
プラックスっていうのがこの鳥のことなんでしょうか
The camera, but you saw there how I slowed down the cutscene. Yeah.
And even moving forward at that platform there is like saving time over just standing where the cutscene would have put you.
And this is the last cage of World 2. So there's a very cringy cutscene at the end of World 2. I'm not gonna play this. I will save you from it. Normally I show this cutscene every time, but
さあ、ずっとついてってるんですけど、何してるんでしょうか
so more cutscenes, and now I'm close to entering World 5. No, World 3. Why am I saying 5? There is no World 5. And I'm using the
助けたら最大、体力が、最大値が上がるんですかね、これ。
all the way over here, because there's a cage here and it's out of the way. And it's much easier to just do it here and collect it there. And now I'm just teleporting back because we need to collect 1800 more shards. Fun.
So that's a good time for donations, I think. I don't have.
いや、なんかほぼ隠してたのかなどうなんだろう。あ、さっきのとこ戻ってきましたね。さっき稼いでたとこに。
Okay, so we just got a $50 donation from Anonymous again, who doesn't
また稼ぎ作業でしょうか。
put it towards the Persona 4 Golden run using the Japanese language incentive. So if we get $1,250, we will have Neviets play the game in Japanese, which I imagine fans of Persona are also fans of. So yeah, that's on over again on stream 2. That's coming up later.
あ、助かります。
Before I check them later today, yes, it is later.
体力最大値。
Donations in for that. We are only at $55 out of 1,250.
3つから始まって今7つですね。
In Japanese. Yeah. Well, also, when you
増える条件助ける
head on
のかな
over to prizes.esamarathon.com, you can have a look at all of our wonderful prizes, as I mentioned earlier. For a $50 donation, such as Anonymous has just done, they put themselves in the running for one of
ああ、言われてみればさっきよりスピーディーになった感じがしま
but
す。
also one of three
あ、痛い痛い。
5X Pros, which is a very difficult to get retro gaming device that will upscale your games to beautiful quality for modern displays. I actually kind of want one myself. So yeah, get your donations in. We also have Steam Decks. That's not with an R. Steam, the game, the game platform. Steam Deck got 2 of them, and we also have 2 PlayStation 5s that you can also win for $100. So yeah, take a look at prizes.esamarathon.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And yeah, those Steam Decks are looking very nice. I've seen one recently. There's some people, some runners here that have one, and they are really cool. But yeah, so we are ending our farming run relatively soonish. I should do one more, I think, and then we are good. So we're on 1500. And this is also a really good moment right now for me to check if I actually collected everything in World 1. Because I was worried just a little bit that I messed up things again. But luckily I didn't.
Yeah, that's actually a legit thing.
そしてまだ稼ぎは続く。そろそろ1700個に。
barely have time to notice if you've actually
どこまで稼ぐんだろう。本当。
But there's at least one thing that the 2 things you need to do to get 100% is get all 51 cages and which I don't think you can actually avoid if you've gotten all the cages and you talk to the village elder to sort of keep going in the game. I think you need to
稼ぎ作業は終わったっぽい。
right?
Yep.
And then you will have 9 hearts. So if you have 9 hearts, you have guaranteed gotten all 51 cages.
Yeah.
At the end.
Ooh, my mouse cursor nearly trolled me and reloaded the game.
1800必要。うんうん。
Yeah, that happens, by the way.
おっと、なんかメカニックな感じで、ちょっとメトロイドっぽいとこに来ましたね。
So this is
あ、
a
落ちちゃっ
negative
た。
instance of, or like a bad example of why knockback can be sometimes trolling you.
Especially in this level, which has a lot of... Here it's dirty, oily water, and below it's gonna be lava. That works the same.
We have talked earlier also about... that hasn't happened to me in a while. We have talked about how useful the jetpack is. What we haven't talked about is one of very interesting property of the role that jetpack has. With the role of the
これは
jetpack,
また
you
か
override different
折り開け
For
て。
example, the staggering animation. Just like this. So...
ん壁抜けですか今の
Can you explain what just happened?
Absolutely. So, yeah, normally if you hit these damage planes of water or lava, etc., you would just take damage and sort of get sent back to the last place you stood on solid platform on the ground, essentially. If you crouch during it and you have time to land on something before it sort of would have sent you back, then that counts as your last ground and you just get to keep moving from where you fell, letting you just go straight through the water and avoid climbing up that big tower.
And watching a
こ
very
こも開ける。
cutscene.
Indeed.
で、また加速。
So yeah, here is a very clever thing that I did not do when I last ran this category, using platformer storage to not have to bother with all that laser section.
ワー
there.
プかなあれしない。
Yeah, so normally you will have to wait afterwards for some lasers to just...
そうですね。現在7時半頃ですね
What。you can do instead is just teleport back with the store teleporter and then navigate all the way around to collect this last cage. And it saves quite some time. I think it was 20-ish seconds compared to just doing it normally. And now there's a
And it's
pushing
like-
block.
It's both faster and just feels so much
Cool.
better instead of
加速かな
like I
Hmm.
know that I every single time accidentally hit one of those lasers right as it spawns.
Oh,
加速か。あ、落ちた。
Oh, so close.
I barely made it. So now I'm gonna have to do terrible backup for this because getting enough momentum to get all the way over there is really difficult to do. And
Yeah, I always jump down that red thing, and I always fail the final jump
there
to
we go.
actually get across.
今度届きましたね。
Yeah. It's a little bit difficult to do this jump because the geometry looks way different how it actually is. Oh, I forgot.
ああ、大丈夫かなあれ
Those despawn here. Grabbing a checkpoint out of safety reasons. Because marathon safety is always good to have. And yeah, normally you were supposed to do like
そうです
with
ね。
the magnet that we got.
ああ、ホテルで朝食だ可能性。なるほど。
And mirrors that we have to adjust, but we don't need to do that. Instead, we can just do this.
ん落ちた。
If I'd done everything right, which I didn't.
壁抜けやってるんでしょうか
Now on a block. Exactly, just as it
危
looks.
ない危ない。
We can just
あれ抜けた先ですかねこれ。
enter the later sections of
ん
World 3 in a different way than intended.
ああ、でも3回目くらいで成功してよかった。体力が危なかったから。
Collecting all the cages.
Yet another use of the crouch fall
これはこの丸いのは何ですか
or crouch, avoiding getting staggered.
This
ああ、なんか開け
the trickiest jump in the entire
開けた。
that is coming up, and I absolutely just hate it. And
It's so weird that it's so hard, but it very much is.
Yeah, it's essentially a run killer. Can I just do this?
モンフボール。
It's like just too far away, and you're coming out of this thing which didn't let you keep any speed.
今度は届いたのか
I
な
saw some sort of diagonal noodling there.
By the
Try
way,
to just-
you can look out.
ああ、わずかな足場使って渡ってますね。
Yeah. So we have 2 more cages. Those are upcoming, and then we actually.
これは捕まって移動してんのかな角うん。
With collecting almost everything in the game except for the overworld. I'm just gonna go and collect these 2. The game is gonna lag here for a second because it loads in the next area already, which is very convenient for us as well.
開けて開け
We
て。
don't have to deal with
あ、ここでスイッチ踏むんですね。さっきスルーしてて何事かなって思って気になってたんですけど。
But what we can do is we can jump on this lamp and there's a hole in the wall, so we just go out of bounds instead, skipping.
重力操作。
A fun,
And that is,
fun little thing about this is actually the only point in time where this game actually had a bounty for anything.
といった。
yeah, because especially in the 90%, this was like huge. Just getting to not do that fight, and it felt so close, because you could easily like see where you would need to go, and it was found by the legendary glitch finder for this game, Josh Mesh.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's overall a huge shout out to him. He's destroying so many.
お
right?
お、中に入れて。
A lot of people don't know that. Glitch hunters are
これも
very
壁抜け正規ルートどうなんでしょ
They
う
do a lot of amazing work, so
Eh.
shout outs to all of them.
Here's a neat thing coming up where you would like keep
で、
going
上昇気流で登
some more laps,
Hmm?
sort of. Or you can just
なんか突っ込んでいったけど、あれ
get thrown
大
off
丈夫かな
by the fan and then just grab that swing mode.
So
Yeah,
you,
here's some.
yeah, you might see me here or saw me for a second. I'm starting to move up and using the magnet ability to destroy as many enemies as possible because that is essentially the last gauntlet in the game.
ああ、だいぶちょっと不穏な空気になりましたね。なんだなんだ
And yeah, we actually got everything almost done here on enemies. So yeah,
Very close.
yeah, we just need to destroy those 2 more, and then we're good to go. I'm lining myself up. Oh,
The hardest golf shot in all of
転がす。
you can actually softlock
Lovely.
here. 10 cutscenes, by the way. You're watching 10 cutscenes in a row.
Thankfully skippable.
Yeah. Another one. This time I need to
工場は
skip it.
50なんかななんかすごいゴルフっぽいことやってた。
Restore the teleporter one last time. We have 6 more cages and
ゴルフだし、メトロイドだし、
which is very convenient.
ラチェットクランクだし、情報量が多いですね。
Yeah, we don't have to actually do it twice.
あ、うっちゃうっちゃ。
Literally having the travel time.
So what you don't see or what you didn't see earlier, there was a cutscene trigger. I jumped around here. It's very inconvenient on the way of your backtrack, and you lose all your momentum in the bunny hop. So can actually then accidentally just jump into it again. But we luckily
で
avoided that.
これ
Thought you were free of me.
開けていく。これは
And now this is the second last
ああ、なるほど。
missing, so I'm teleporting back.
あれ、
Oh,
光らせていつもで通れないとこと通れるようにしてるみたいな。
Where, of course, you need the time gadget there, so you couldn't have picked up the
考古学。
yeah.
even if it would have been rough, because you would have needed to get a bunch of shards to get them, but still.
And this is the last cage, and teleporting back, talking to them. Yeah, I did that. Rescued every lower. There we go. We have the confirmation. So that means we are 100%.
会話イベント発生したの。これはラストなのかな、どうなんだろう。
Cutscenes coming up, and then the final boss, which might be over very soonish, because there's a quick kill potentially, and I'll let Klagan explain it.
Yes, so, time gadget lets you slow down time. In this case, you can slow down time while the boss is in its sort of vulnerable state, and you just get to, instead of doing
ボス、
what they
ボス戦ですね。
maybe fourth of the health, you just do the entire bar in one go. If you mash
これ倒して終わりなのかな。
jump as fast as humanly possible to actually get it.
So
Hopefully we get it here, and that will be time when the
あら、かわいい。
So I
で、加
was
速い、
looking at this, but it
加速生かしてフルボッコ。
actually never mind. Oh, it does. Perfect time.
Yes! Time!
あ、終わりましたね。GG。
That was good. So yeah, I skipped the
時間
final cutscene in case you ever
加
wanna
速
play
が
casually, which is
強いっていう
probably
感じはします
because
ね。
the publisher
早い。
bought the plug and stopped being a publisher, and this game is nowhere to be sold anymore. But if you have a friend who has this game on Steam, perhaps ask him if you could maybe play it through family sharing, because it's
サ
generally
ブスモッド、モッドはさておき、こう
it's all just
発売停止が惜しいくらいこうスピーディーで面白い感じはし、面白そうだなって思いました。いや、ちょっと本当悔やまれます。
and you somehow have a copy of this game, give the speedrun a try. If 100% isn't up to your alley, you can still do any percent, and any percent is
い
extreme.
やー、悲しいですね。
And 13
販売されていない。
stop bunny hopping action, and it's just a lot of fun. And also one last shout out is to the entire Skylar Plux community and the devs. They have been all very nice, amazing place, and I hope we're gonna see a Skylar Plux 2 with more bunny hopping, because that's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
the-
thank you Klagan for helping me out with commentary.
販売されていないタイトルこうまさか見れると思わなかったです。すごい貴重な
Slightly more
ひと
weight.
ときでした。
Yeah. I don't know which game was coming up after my run. I looked it up before my run, but then I forgot, because I usually always wish you a lot of fun with the upcoming game. But I'm sure Josh can help me
Yes.
out with that.
Yes, it is a Prince and Persia: The Forgotten Sands.
Oh, that's a really good one. You should definitely watch this and enjoy the rest of ESA. Thank you, ESA, for having me. Have a nice day and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Cool, you did my
ああ、なるほど。ダウンロード販売のみ。
I do have one quick donation, $50 from Ikiyu, who says, "Good morning ESA and good luck, Matsy."
Oh,
Turned
thank
out you didn't need the luck, you did it. All right, yeah, as they said, coming up is Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
はい、画面変わりましたね。次の作品は、プリンス・オブ・ペルシャ、忘却の砂だそうで。はい。では、私、天気、司会、今日はここまで、一旦、今回司会はここまでとなっております。では、次の方に交代しようと思います。では、失礼いたします。